Daniel Rodriguez versus Takashi Sato takes place on the main card of UFC Fight Night Vegas 7, Munhoz versus Edgar this weekend. And in my opinion, other than the main event, Daniel Rodriguez versus Takashi Sato is the most interesting matchup on the card. I think it's going to be an amazing fight. The UFC knew exactly what they were doing when they put this fight as the main card opener. What better way to open up a main card than Daniel Rodriguez versus Takashi Sato? Every single fight Daniel Rodriguez has had in the UFC so far has been entertaining. The same thing with Takashi Sato as well. It's just a recipe for an amazing fight to open up the main card. I'm glad that it's got this opportunity because I'll be honest with you guys, this probably wouldn't be on the main card of this fight card normally if Yoel Romero versus Uriah Hall was still on the main card. This might have been shifted to headline the prelims, so I'm so glad that it gets the spotlight it deserves. I am leaning in the direction of Daniel Rodriguez, but let's introduce the two opponents here. Daniel Rodriguez, flawless since coming to the UFC, 2-0 so far. Amazing record overall as well, but starts his UFC career with a debut against Tim Means on short notice with only a few weeks of camp. Beats Tim Means in the second round by submission after beating him around the canvas. I mean, it was a really dominant performance from Daniel Rodriguez. Don't get me wrong, Tim Means had a bit of success in that fight early. Had a little bit of success with some certain combos. Landed a few good kicks against Daniel Rodriguez as well. But eventually, Daniel Rodriguez, he finds the target, gets his rhythm, starts landing the 1-2. And as soon as Daniel Rodriguez, you can see it click in on him. As soon as he gets his rhythm, he starts up in the volume, up in the tempo. We saw that in his fight against Gabriel Green, which was just absolutely dominant as well. Completely outstruck Gabriel Green every single round, including knocking him down. Although it's not a big win because Gabriel Green took the fight on short notice, it's still a 9-2 fighter who's a big lightweight that could arguably be a welterweight anyway, that took on Daniel Rodriguez and lost. 9-2, that's a real good fighter on his hands. Gabriel Green showed up to fight as well, really tough, has an amazing chin. Daniel Rodriguez did not let that faze him. He stayed on course for the full 3 rounds and did an amazing job in the process as well, just completely outstriking Gabriel Green. Green had some success, but Rodriguez was always one step ahead of him with the volume, with the accuracy, with great boxing combinations. And Takashi Sato, speaking of great boxing, is another amazing fighter in that welterweight division, coming off a loss to Belal Muhammad, or actually redeemed his loss to Belal Muhammad with a win over Jason Witt. Again, not the best win in the world, but still beat Jason Witt dominantly in the first round, ground and pound, TKO'd him pretty easy. Let's move on to the next one. Also shows that he's stayed active as well. Both of these guys have been active, fighting within the past few months. Takashi Sato in favor of Takashi Sato here, he didn't take any damage in his last fight, which was not too long ago, so he's definitely going to be probably the fresher guy in there. I do believe that Daniel Rodriguez is going to get the job done over him, though, but Takashi Sato lost to Belal Muhammad. Kind of got outclassed, but Belal Muhammad seems to be doing that to a lot of opponents right now in that welterweight division. I mean, Belal Muhammad, other than KO loss to Vicente Luque and some other losses that he's had throughout his career, a close one to Jeff Neal as well. I mean, losing to Luque and Jeff Neal only, recently anyway. I know he did lose to Alan Jouban, but you know, that happens. And then you lose to Luque and Jeff Neal. Those aren't bad names to lose to right now in that welterweight division. Alan Jouban is. That really is a bad name to lose to, but still, Luque and Jeff Neal, amazing guys to lose to in that division. I don't hold anything against Belal Muhammad. He's an amazing fighter in that division, and Takashi Sato showed a kind of good performance against Belal Muhammad, but Belal Muhammad is such a savage. I don't hold that against Takashi Sato for losing to him. Belal Muhammad, after his performance against Lyman Good not too long ago, I think he's going to go on to do great things in that welterweight division. However, I do believe that Daniel Rodriguez is still going to win this fight. As much as I do value the wins of Takashi Sato, with a win over Jason Witt, with a win over Ben Saunders, I don't, though. Like, I do rate them, because those are good guys, but Jason Witt is Jason Witt, you know, and Ben Saunders is Ben Saunders. I thought Ben Saunders' chin was gone and career was over when he got head kicked by Douglas Lima. For the second time. Like, he got TKO'd by Lima viciously. And that head kick in their rematch was absolutely horrendous to watch. He got absolutely floored by that combo. Lead left hook to the liver, head kick behind it. Everyone knows the combo that Lima landed on Ben Saunders. I thought his chin was gone from there. And I watched that Ben Saunders fight recently. Ben Saunders was winning quite impressively in that first round against Takashi Sato. And it does worry me a little bit, because as much as I like Takashi Sato, Belal Muhammad was outstriking him, and Belal Muhammad is a guy who likes to rely on his grappling quite a bit, and he did mix in the grappling against Takashi Sato. Sato had some good moments, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the real key to success here for Daniel Rodriguez is the fact that both of them are boxers. Takashi Sato doesn't throw too many kicks. Daniel Rodriguez does mix in a nice chopping leg kick within his combos now and again. I feel like the mixing in of the kicks from Daniel Rodriguez with that chopping outside leg kick that he likes to throw is going to be a big deal here. His boxing combinations are always so crisp, and he doesn't throw single shots. When I watch Takashi Sato's fights, I've watched his fight with Belal Muhammad recently. I've watched his one against Ben Saunders as well. He reminds me of Doo Ho Choi. And that's not just because they're from the same average geographical area. That's not why I'm saying that. He reminds me of Doo Ho Choi the way he fights, because he's very lully to sleep. He'll slow things down. He'll look for his moment, and everything has to be perfect, or he doesn't seem to commit to shots. And I like that comparison that he has with Doo Ho Choi. It does play into his hands quite a bit, but I think against a guy with the volume of Daniel Rodriguez that throws a lot of combinations, the perfect opportunity is not going to be there for Takashi Sato. And Daniel Rodriguez feints a lot with the hands, always follows up his combinations. I feel like that's going to be the key to success here. Takashi Sato, in both of his fights against Belal Muhammad and Ben Saunders and some other fights in his career, he loads up for the single shot counter, and that does work. When you're fighting a guy with the chin of Ben Saunders, when you're fighting Jason Witt, that does work. But Daniel Rodriguez, I believe, has separated himself from the pack at welterweight at the moment. He's not right there at the top yet, but I feel like from what we've seen so far of him, I mean, now 13-1 over, or 12-1 overall in his career. He will be 13-1 if he wins this fight coming up. Takashi Sato looks too much for those single shots, in my opinion. And Daniel Rodriguez's combinations are going to get the better of this fight. His volume is going to get the better of this fight, because we did see against Belal Muhammad, Takashi Sato did look like he was starting to slow down quite a bit against Belal Muhammad, and that eventually led to the finish for Belal Muhammad in the third round. I feel as though Daniel Rodriguez, with his combinations, with his pacing, the Belal Muhammad fight with Takashi Sato looked like he was slowing down quite drastically. He does come out fast in the starting parts of those rounds, but eventually the rounds do start getting to him, and he does slow down quite a bit, and Belal Muhammad wasn't putting too much of a pace on him. Belal Muhammad was landing some good body shots, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't really put in the volume that Daniel Rodriguez is going to. I think this is going to be a great fight for one round. I think Daniel Rodriguez and Takashi Sato are both going to land big shots. Eventually, come the second round, there's going to be a big moment at the start of it where they're both landing some good shots, and you'll start to see the tide turn in favor of the chin of Rodriguez, the volume of Rodriguez, the pressure of Rodriguez, the accuracy of Rodriguez once he gets his hands going. I think Takashi Sato has a great chance in the first round to try and get this done. I don't see that happening. We've seen no signs from Daniel Rodriguez of a bad chin in his entire career. The one fight that he lost in his entire career was a split decision that was somewhat close, like could have gone either way. That's the point of a split decision. Like, I haven't seen anything that tells me that Daniel Rodriguez has a bad chin, not to mention he's the bigger guy come fight night, and he's got the reach advantage as well in a boxing heavy fight. I don't like that for Takashi Sato. If Sato was mixing up more kicks in his previous fights, maybe I would like this matchup for him. If he'd like to go for a few more takedowns, I just feel like this is a perfect style matchup for a fun fight, but a fight that's not going to last very long with the output of Daniel Rodriguez against a guy like Takashi Sato. I reckon eventually, past the second half of the second round, I think at the end of the second, we're going to see Daniel Rodriguez really start to put the pressure on Takashi Sato. Maybe lose himself the first round, who knows? I reckon the first round might be quite close. Eventually, Daniel Rodriguez, though, I believe is going to get the second round, maybe finish in the third, or go to a decision win, winning the last two rounds very convincingly. Daniel Rodriguez, in my opinion, gets the job done. I just like the matchup for him, I really do. He's got a lot of experience. And also, one thing I like about Daniel Rodriguez is that he's in a rush. I like that, man. He's 33 years of age. He knows he's got to do this right now, or he's going to miss out on his chance in his prime. He still seems in incredible shape. He took his fight against Tim Means on short notice, and I'll tell you this. I didn't like his Tim Means win as much as I do now, because Tim Means just bounced back against Laureano Staropolian. After Daniel Rodriguez beat Tim Means, there was quite a bit of doubt in my mind that maybe he had gotten Tim Means after the Nico Price KO, and maybe Tim Means wasn't going to be the same fighter with the same chin. I mean, you know, he cracked Tim Means a bunch of times, but now that I've seen Tim Means bounce back and take big shots against Laureano Staropolian, it shows me that he's still got it in the bag, and it kind of makes Daniel Rodriguez seem a little bit better to me. I haven't seen Ben Saunders snap back, and change the tide, you know? Like, there's little differences that I'm noticing in their records. Takashi Sato, very, very experienced. He's going to have the experience advantage in there, but Daniel Rodriguez, very comfortable guy as soon as the fight starts. Takashi Sato had some fights in his career, been finished by KO in his career as well, which is something that we haven't seen with Daniel Rodriguez. Has a lot of quick finishes in his career. I think he's going to look for that against Rodriguez. That will be his downfall. Rodriguez controls the range very well. He's so comfortable slipping back just out the way of shots. We saw that in his matchup against Tim Means, and Tim Means is a guy who's great. I mean, you want to stand there and trade in the box with Tim Means. That's kind of the way that Tim Means has a chance to win. You know, like, Tim Means has a chance against a lot of people in that welterweight division if you stand there and box with him. And that's exactly what Daniel Rodriguez did. I just think Rodriguez mixes things up too well. And the single shot counters of Takashi Sato, I believe he's going to look for the single shot. He's probably going to land the single shot. But the second and third are going to be answered by Daniel Rodriguez. I think they're both going to exchange. Takashi Sato is going to look for a big counter like he normally does. He looks for those single shot bursts. I don't think I've seen the power in him to beat Daniel Rodriguez. Even his TKO against Ben Saunders wasn't like it wasn't a shutout KO like we've seen guys do to Ben Saunders before. Like, he took a bit of a ground and pound afterwards. I'm not saying that Takashi Sato doesn't have the best power in the world, but he does have ridiculous power. I just don't think against a guy like Daniel Rodriguez. He's taken on a lot of older guys in his career. I just think that Daniel Rodriguez is going to answer the combinations well. Takashi Sato is going to ask a lot of questions, and he might land some of those questions and have some of those questions stick well. The answers are all going to be given by Daniel Rodriguez, I believe. They're going to start combinations together. Rodriguez will get the better of them by the finish. Mixing in leg kicks as well will do a good job for Rodriguez. And I also feel as though, although Takashi Sato does have a great resume by the looks of things on paper with some of the records of the guys that he has faced, and you look at some of these guys, I'm telling you, they have good records over there. Okay? They have really good records over there against really bad fighters. Like, an 18-3 over at Grand Slam promotion or events is not the same as an 18-3 over here. It just isn't. Not over here. I'm just saying over in other parts of the world. Because you look at this guy, Hamagishi. You look at his record, 18-4 with 7 draws. You're telling me that doesn't smell of a protected fighter? If you've got 7 draws in your career against cans, against absolute cans. Young Min Kang, 5-5 when this guy was 14-3. Another guy, 7-5 when this guy was 7-2. Like 4-3 when this guy was 7-1. All been given draws. There's a lot of favoritism over there. There really is. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but Pancrase has got some interesting... Well, what I'm trying to say. Takashi Sato's fought some good guys with good records. Those guys with the good records have not fought good guys with good records to get their good records. Daniel Rodriguez is going to get the job done. Straight into the deep end, taking on tough competition. I think he gets the better of Takashi Sato. Eventually in the third round, I reckon we will see Daniel Rodriguez put the pressure on Sato, either beat him to a pulp in the third or earn himself a TKO finish, and the winner of this one could be in a really good position right now in the welterweight division, which is bigger than ever outside those rankings. I would like to see the winner of this one again stay active. Daniel Rodriguez, you're not a young chicken. Win this one. You're not a spring chicken, sorry. Win this one. Try and turn around before the end of the year. Your birthday is December 31st. Let's try and get one in there before you turn 34. I'd like to see Daniel Rodriguez in the rankings by the time he's 34. That would be an ideal scenario for his career. I think he should look to take on a guy like... If I just do a little bit of thinking on the spot here, if I check the rankings of that welterweight division, there's a ton of fun matchups for him. There's guys like Mike Perry. I doubt they'll be making that fight. I feel like they're going to go to the direction of Mike Perry versus Kevin Holland at welterweight. I feel like that's an ideal situation. But other guys at welterweight coming off wins. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos got robbed against Salikov, but then again, Muslim Salikov in December versus Daniel Rodriguez. I would love to see that matchup. The winner of that one can get a shot against a ranked opponent. Daniel Rodriguez is sneaking his way up those rankings. He really is. He really is sneaking his way up them rankings. And if he wins this one this weekend, it's a good win to have over a good opponent that's very experienced in Sato. And he'd definitely be looking to jump up those rankings. He's currently ranked number 35 according to Ranking MMA. If he wins this one, I'm assuming he'll probably jump up to the 30 range above the likes of Jesse Bronson And then he'll be looking for guys to take him towards that ranking spot. I think Daniel Rodriguez gets it done and could be looking at a fight with Muslim Salikov in December. Makes sense to me. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Daniel Rodriguez by 3rd round dominance and 2nd round win to a unanimous decision, or 3rd round TKO. You guys make the adjustment on my prediction based on whether or not you think Sato can survive. He has been KO'd before. You know, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Rodriguez gets it done with superior volume and pressure. Click that button there. Goodbye. Yeah.